Hey, it's Jane. How you doing? I'm trying to sit up, so we'll see how well this works out because it's mildly uncomfortable. Um, so last time you saw me, I was laying down because I was exhausted. Um, and also my discharge was getting more in larger in volume and milky, and I just didn't like the look of things down there. And so I considered the possibility of going to emergency, um, not out of any sense of panic or anything like that. It's just that if I needed an antibiotic, my family doctor is in Toronto, a billion miles away. It's not practical for me to go there, and it'd be an appointment for next week sometime, anyways. So it'd be silly. So that's basically what you do here in Ontario. Is you either go to a walk-in, like if you can't go to your family doctor or you don't have a family doctor, you go to a walk-in clinic or you go to emerge. In my case, I would go to emerge because that is the actual instruction from the surgeons that if there's any complications, you go to emerge. Um, and it's free. So there's no problem in doing it, right? So basically, had I decided that's what I needed to do, I would have gone. They would have looked. They would have said, "Yeah, this infection. Here's a prescription for antibiotics," and off I go. But yesterday, I kind of thought, you know what? I, as much as I feel absolutely drained, and that was definitely my immune system working overtime, I didn't feel like it was something that required an internal antibiotic because you only take internal antibiotics is if you've got a bacterial infection internally. Um, Topical infections can be treated topically, so that's what I did. I switched up my douching routine, and I started applying polysporin, and that seems to have worked. Now, the shrinking of the open area had stopped because of the bacterial infection, but um, so I haven't really seen any increase or decrease in its size since things now look a lot nicer. But I mean, we'll see tomorrow because I find I get the biggest um, healing overnight when I'm sleeping because I'm laying perfectly still, and my body's got all the time and energy to do what it needs to do. Um, so I mean, it wasn't even remotely a panic situation, but I did at least tell my dad, say, "Hey, tomorrow," meaning today, because yesterday is when we discussed it. I said, "Hey, tomorrow, I might want to go to emerge, just to let him know, because he'd have to go with me." Um, but no, I'm not going. Not necessary. So yeah, infections happen. Catch them early. You know, got to deal with it. Um, got to look for the warning signs. You know, um, I I'm loath to go into too much detail on what someone should look for because everyone's body is different, and I am not a medical professional. So I don't know that it'd be appropriate for me to say, hey, this is what you should do. However, I will tell you what I did because I know my body, and I think that if you are the kind of person who invests a lot of your mental energy in being hyper aware of your physical state, you're going to know what's going on when you're with your body and when something's not right. So, for instance, the volume of discharge increased, which didn't really sit well with me, and it was quite milky. which immediately suggested to me, for my body, a bacterial infection. Um, and then I set out, the possibility of going to emerge to get an antibiotic prescription, if it was necessary. But treating myself, it's turned out it's not necessary. So how I switched up my, because here again, right? Like when you finish your when you get sent home from your surgery, you really have to follow the instructions of your surgeon, right? Your surgeon, although different surgeons give different instructions, you have to follow the instructions of your surgeon, because those are the instructions they're vouching for. If you do something different, then they're like, well, you didn't follow instructions, right? So you have to follow instructions. However, there is a point in time in your recovery where you're healed enough that you don't have to be as strict about following their instructions, and you can mix things up. You can switch things up to accommodate your own needs, and perhaps deal with situations that are relevant to you. Like, for instance, a situation that's relevant to me is our tap water is crap. And the more I think about it, and the more I um, uh, analyze how I've responded to, you know, following my instructions based on our tap water, I think this bacterial infection has actually come from the tap water, because I've done everything I was supposed to do, including the sitz baths and sitting in tap water for 10 minutes twice a day. I think that's what the cause of the problem was, because I'm using sterile equipment. Um, everything I'm using is sterile. I have two different um, uh, skin sanitizers, two different kinds of skin sanitizer. I have 99% isopropyl alcohol for cleaning services. Um, you know, I double clean my dilators, like before and after use, and I double clean my douching bulb, and like I'm following all of the instructions, and everything that touches my body has been is sanitary or has been sanitized, including my hands. I never touch anything down there unless hand sanitizer has been on my hands. Okay, so the only outlier, and also too, when I'm sleeping, yes, I'm sleeping naked from the waist down, but um, I sleep on I have a clean towel that I change every single night, and they're brand new towels. Like I bought them specifically for this, right? So I bought a stack of these towels, and I put down a brand new clean one every night, and they only get used once, and then they go into the washer. Like, I mean, it's not perfect. It's not, it's not a hospital environment, but it's pretty damn. I've done a pretty good job, but I don't trust their water, which is why I've been douching with um uh, which is why I have been douching with boiled water. Well, been douching with saline, but I'm using what's it called? God, that drives me nuts. Stupid anomia. The water that's been boiled and jugged. I've talked about it before. Anyways, that's the water that I use, except for when I was taking these sitz baths. So I stopped taking the cyst baths because I don't really need them anymore, and I just don't trust the water. Um, and I'm using um, a particular skin sanitizer that I special ordered from the States to clean the whole area down there before and after douching. Um, so between that and the polysporin and everything, it's all under control. But it can happen. It does happen. It's a real concern, and you got to stay on top of it, and you got to pay very close attention to what's going on down there every single time you interact, because it's still an open wound. Inside's great, but that open that inside is great, but that area down at the bottom is still open, and I'll be goddamn glad when it closes up, because I so desperately want to sit in my chair. And even right now, like, I might look like I'm sitting upright, but I'm not. I'm like sitting on my tailbone, and even then, it's not comfortable. So, yeah, that's what's going there. Hopefully, now that I've got this infection under control, it can get back to closing up again, because I really desperately want that bottom area to close up so that I can actually put clothes on and sit down comfortably in front of my computer and actually get some work done. I'm feeling more energy today, probably because I've dealt with the infection, so my body's not, working overtime, which is good. Um, and yeah, yeah. So that's kind of the update. Yeah, you really got to stay on top of this stuff. Um, with dilating, I am just barely maintaining my depth. It's like I'm putting pressure to maintain the depth. If I weren't applying additional pressure, I would be losing depth. And I know. And anybody who's done this before will always say, well, as the swelling goes down, the number of dots that are sticking out will increase. And it's absolutely true. But I'm accounting for that, right? This is not a matter of, oh, I was at only one dot coming out, and now I'm at two dots, and sometimes it's three dots. No, 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 no. I'm accounting for all of that. I am very confident that it does require additional pressure. And again, not crazy pressure, right? Not to the point where it hurts. Like, it aches afterwards, but that's, again, I think that's because of the pokiness of the dilators. But it does require pressure to keep that depth. And I just don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it. I think the depth that I have is mediocre at best, and it would be a shame if I lost any of what I've already got. So if I can keep it the same, well, that's the bare minimum. And if I can get it even a little bit more, stretch things a little bit more inside with new dilators, which apparently on Friday I'm getting new dilators, um, then that would be fantastic. So yeah, so when that time comes, I will actually be doing a product comparison with these new dilators. And this is just stuff I'm getting off of Amazon. I might even consider like looking a little wider afield at other dilator options. Because there isn't a great selection on Amazon. It's I wouldn't call the bulk of what you can get on Amazon medical medical grade dilators. The ones that I ordered I would definitely consider them medical grade. Another one that I ordered that's penis shaped is clearly not medical grade. But I thought, what the hell, is $30? I'll give it a try. It's gimmicky, and it's got a air pump in it. I'll give it a try. But yeah, I might look a little farther afield and see if there's other ones that that maybe have a nicer end on them, but do have a bend, because these ones that are coming have no bend in it. And yeah, I'm not opposed to spending a little extra money to try a few different products to see which ones feel best, you know? Because, once you're at that stage where you've stopped bleeding, which I've stopped bleeding, I have not bled in a week and a half. Um, you know, where except for that open bit, which is a separate matter entirely, when it comes to actually dilating itself, I'm into the grind now, right? It's completely healed inside. It's just a matter of training that cavity to not shrink. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm in a comfortable place where I can compare products. And maybe hey, buddy. It's my buddy. It's my buddy. Um, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Again, I have no plan here. Everything I do with these videos is half-assed, just making shit up as I go. Um, so that's about it with the healing process. This isn't really comfortable at all. Trying to sit upright. It's good to see. It's good to see that. Yeah, it's not all fun and games here. So that's about that with that. In other subjects. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna open a can of worms here, because before I was talking about about population decline, and how actual population decline is a good thing, uh, and it's something that if we actually planned for appropriately and managed appropriately, it would be so much better for humanity and for the planet if we depopulated gracefully. But I just finished watching a video of Sabine Hassenfeller. It's what's uh, Hassenfelder, Sabine Hassenfelder, who is a Marmite personality. Some people love her, some people hate her. I really enjoy her videos because I agree with her 50% of the time, and I disagree with her 50% of the time, and I like that. I like somebody who I don't always agree with. Um, but she's going on. Just finished watching this video, and she's going on about Elon Musk and his stupid fucking Mars business. God damn. How does somebody become the richest person in the world and at the same time be a stupid son of a bitch? I don't think that camera is very straight. Right in the middle of the video, I'm just going to turn the camera to make it, annoying. Um, he is just such a dumb fuck in so many ways. Ah. And I fear for America, for what he's going to do to the American economy when he starts trashing the federal government. So I'm going off in a bit of a diatribe just on him right now, because I do have a point I'm getting at, but bear with me. To my American friends, I know if you're watching this, you're worried, but like, anybody with two brain cells to rub together will know exactly what Trump is doing, right? Trump wants to decimate the federal government because he wants America to become like Russia, where everything is controlled by oligarchs and all rules are arbitrary and everybody can be bought. he wants to turn America into Russia, right? But he's smarter than Elon Musk, which is saying something, because he also knows that there is only so much torching the federal government you can do before it fucking explodes in your face, right? So he wants to destroy vast swaths of the federal government. So how is he gonna do it? He's going to get he's going to get a couple of patsies to do it for him. Anybody who's paid any attention to Elon, or sorry, to Donald Trump over the years, even the minus amount of attention to um, Trump and his opinions of people, will know that he fucking hates Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever, Ramaswamy, Vivek, whatever. He fucking hates the guy. He sees he's just a little twerp that is a yes man and is literally a tool to be used. He is nothing more than a tool as far as Trump is concerned. Anybody who knows Trump, even vaguely, knows this to be the case. And also, anybody who knows Trump also knows that he hates know it alls. Because Trump, I mean, he's not smart. He is dumb as a stump. But he's got instinct, right? He might not be intelligent, but he's got instinct. And his instinct is to never trust anybody who's always got answers. Because somebody who's always got answers may or may not be correct, but they're definitely going to get in between Trump and his goals, which is self-enrichment and destroying all guardrails and basically turning America into Russia, right? So, who is Elon Musk, right? He is the self-proclaimed, I don't know if I should put air quotes around that or not. He's the self-proclaimed fucking know-it-all, when in reality he barely understands half the shit he talks about, and the rest he doesn't understand at all, right? Trump doesn't like know-it-alls. Elon Musk is a know-it-all. So he's basically creating this non-department, this department without any congressional authority or oversight, or accountability, or relevance, even. Stupid Doge. Fucking Elon is such a putz. He's created this. He's let these two dopes create this so that they can go out and trash the federal government. And then once it explodes in their faces, then Trump will say, oh, hey, it wasn't me. It was these two dummies. And leave them holding the bag. And as a foreigner, I don't necessarily feel too bad. I mean, America did choose Trump as president, right? As a dispassionate foreigner, I'm like, well, if this is what America wants. However, I do have American friends. I do actually believe that at least 50% of Americans are decent human beings. And I think it's terribly unfortunate that the good people in America are going to get badly fucked over by the bad people in America. And it just saddens me that there are so many bad people in America. And don't think I'm going to go easy on Canada either. In my next video, I've got opinions about what's going on with Justin Trudeau, Cynthia Freeland, and Jagmeet Singh, and Lil Pee, Pierre Polyev, because there's some nasty shit going on in Canada too, which I really want to address. But that's not what I'm talking about, and I've gone off on a huge diatribe, and I'm going to bring it back now because I just finished watching Sabine's video talking about Elon and his stupid idea of colonizing Mars. Because Elon is one of these um, um, reproductive fetishists offering his sperm to every woman he meets. Fucking just gross beyond belief. And he's like humanity can't survive on Earth. We have to go off and populate a new planet, one that is just bathed in ionizing radiation that will kill you, um, literally in hours if you weren't shielded. Um, I mean, how's that going to fucking work? But that's what he wants to waste his money on. More power to him. But it brings me back to what I was saying before about this whole idea of this irrational fear of depopulation. There's nothing wrong with a population decreasing to a healthy level. And these people who genuinely believe that unless the population is 10 billion or 15 billion or 100 billion or whatever stupid numbers they come up with, unless the population is so extreme that we're living in some kind of techno dystopia as a result, that doesn't work. It looks great in movies. Cyberpunk 2077. Fine, right? But it doesn't work in reality. In reality, what works is a small human population living in harmony with nature, allowing other species to thrive, and having a clean atmosphere and clean oceans and giant forests and just all the good things we used to have. And we can have again with high technology. But we have to do it gracefully. Well, I mean, we don't have to do it gracefully. We can fuck it up and have population collapse and be completely unprepared and, let the chips fall where they may. Or we could actually have a depopulation movement in society to counter this population expansionist bullshit, right? We could have a depopulation movement in society that supports the idea of shrinking populations and supports the idea of making the most of our technological gains to make the world more efficient, less polluting, more targeted to the individual instead of mass production. There's so much we could do. And I don't even know if there is any group out there like that, because so many people are so goddamn afraid of depopulation. I kind of feel like if there isn't a group like that should be started. Because depopulation is coming whether we like it or not. It's just a fact. It's a fait accompli. Every large or rich country has a depopulation problem. And even in the places where they don't have a depopulation problem, the second their standard of living rises up, they will have a depopulation problem. So it's inevitable, right? We're going to have depopulation everywhere, and we see it as a problem today. It doesn't have to be seen as a problem. It isn't a problem. And if we plan for it and we work towards managing our depopulation, it can be an extremely healthy and constructive and positive thing. So yeah, I think we really need to put something together. I think we need to create a movement of depopulists who plan for an intelligent depopulation that benefits all of humanity, right? Because like the worst case scenario where you've got like no, not economic, but environmental collapse, right? Like if we had if the Gulf Stream failed and the North Atlantic current collapsed, um, if you know hurricanes got exponentially worse, if if the melting that's currently going on accelerates at an even faster pace than it's already going, this is not comfortable. Oh my god, I can't wait until that spot at the bottom closes up so that I can sit comfortably. If we get ecological collapse, then that's going to cause a catastrophic population collapse. And then still not going to wipe out humanity. Humanity's still going to survive, but it's just not going to survive in anything like a evenly distributed, healthy way, right? Whereas if we plan for it, we can plan for depopulation that is relatively balanced based on demographics, such that no particular demographic group is unduly um, lost in the process, right? Like, for instance, um, uh, like if Central Asia turned into a complete desert and um, there was massive deforestation in Central Africa, you know, and like a billion or more people died as a result. That would be terrible. That would be awful. That would be horrible. And it wouldn't even be impacting the people who caused the goddamn environmental collapse in the first place, because it's the first world who's responsible, right? So you'd think the first world should pay the highest price if we destroy the ecology of the planet. It's first world who should pay the highest price, but it wouldn't be the first world that paid the highest price. It would be the third world. It would be the emerging world. So, yeah, I don't know what such a group would look like, or how they would be organized, or how you would start constructing a mission statement, how you would plan, how you'd organize. Yeah, I don't know how you'd do any of this stuff because it's not my area of expertise. I'm a computer engineer. I know how to make computers do shit. I don't know how to make people do shit. But I think we really do need, the more I think about this, the more I think we do need to have a strong counter voice to these idiots like Elon Musk, who would happily let Earth burn in order to put 1 million people on Mars. It's fucking stupid. I know, and also too, I wonder. Basically, done the diatribe. I wonder if anybody actually even cares. I wonder who cares. I care, obviously, clearly. It's a bee in my bonnet. I fucking care. But I wonder if other people care. I know that there's a bunch of yahoos who care about depopulation as if it's the bad thing, but I wonder if if there are any people who actually care about. And then there are lots of people who care about the planet, who think that we should put the planet before humanity, and I mostly agree with that. I mean, I wouldn't be quite as hard nosed about it. I think we can have humanity living in harmony with nature. So I, I'm not an exterminationist, but yeah, I wonder who cares. Probably not anybody who's watching this video. If anybody watches this video, you probably all left by now, anyways. Um, yeah. And I was going to have like a final thought, to kind of finish the video off nice and cleanly, and I don't. I think that's it. I kind of leave myself with more questions and more things to think about just by talking about it. I think I muddy the water for myself just by discussing this stuff. And I clearly have too much free time on my hands waiting for all of this shit to heal. Anyways, been gabbing long enough. I love y'all. And yeah, there'll be another video sometime soon.